Thanks for joining us. I'm Paula Ebben with the WBZ News Update. Top stories this Monday. Negotiations are back underway in Woburn between teachers and the city. They're trying to settle a strike. The city of Woburn is expected to go to court today and ask for an injunction to try to stop the strike. The impasse now has students at home and parents scrambling to figure out solutions. Classes were canceled today in anticipation of teachers heading to the pickup line. The union, the Woburn Teachers Association, is asking for higher pay with a focus on paraprofessional wages as well as smaller class sizes. They tell us teachers plan to continue this strike until a deal is reached. Police have identified the man killed in this crash in Haverhill overnight. They say the driver behind the wheel was 23-year-old Kevin Casado. It happened about 2 a.m. Police say a white Honda crashed right into KC Carpet Store. Police say Casado became trapped inside the car. First responders were able to get him out, but unfortunately he did not make it. Investigators are still trying to figure out what caused the crash. The man accused of shooting and killing a man at a Holyoke Mall over the weekend is expected to appear in court today. 23-year-old Kenneth Santana Rodriguez is now charged with murder. The district attorney says Santana Rodriguez shot at a man he knew inside a nail salon. But instead of hitting that man, he hit and killed a salon worker. The victim's name has not yet been released. It is so mild out there on this Monday, but big changes in the air. Let's get a check of the forecast with Zack.
An absolutely stunning way to go through the beginning of the week and one of the final days of January, a far cry from what we would typically see in winter. By the way, the month as a whole has been above average and well above so. There was only one day, January 11th, that actually fell below the seasonal averages. Otherwise, we were just completely too warm to kick off 2023. But the cold is right around the corner. We will see that dive in and take hold as we go later this week. And I think that's the big conversation, at least leading up to Friday night and Saturday. Prior to that point, Wednesday may have just a little sliver of it, with afternoon highs landing below the freezing mark. But this is dangerous cold to boot as we move into the end of the week and towards the upcoming weekend. The good news is it's relatively short-lived. We try to force a lot of this out of the way by Sunday. So the main points of emphasis here: Friday, blustery conditions, temperatures falling actually. So the warmest part of the day will be right around sunrise, and then we'll cool off as we move into the afternoon. And by the evening, we're talking just after sunset, it's going to go sub-zero, and it's going to be feeling anywhere from 20 to nearly 30 degrees below. And that's why we will call it dangerous. We're still a few days away from really nailing down the exact numbers, but anywhere in that range is really going to lead for cause of concern. By Saturday morning, we're still under mostly sunny skies, and with such dry air and the winds blasting through, we should all take note of this. So you notice that we actually fall into the single digits and teens as early as sunset on Friday. 0 on the gauge already in Keene. Then everybody will get a minus sign in front of the numbers, and this is where we have to emphasize things. So Saturday morning is going to be relatively tough, which means that the day is actually looking really beautiful. 45 degrees in Boston, 46 in Norwood, 47 stair-stepping in New Bedford as well as the islands. We'll fall back into the low end, try to get to the mid-40s out through central Mass. And when all is said and done, we may actually check off 50 degrees in a few isolated areas. But the icons are telling the story of the day. Right now, it's really difficult to find any clouds, but over time, we are going to thicken that up and filter them in ahead of a few scattered showers. Not a ton of activity here, just a few waves that are going to bring us some light chances. Snow over into higher elevations, rain, I think the closer we get to sea level. So that's why you'll see the mix of green and white sort of popping up right around midnight. So for third shifters, we'll have to dodge a few of these, but there really isn't any area of concern. You still notice 12 a.m., 40 degrees in Boston, 40 degrees in Worcester, close to it out to the south and east. We're at 35 over in Fitchburg, and with the temperature sort of falling close to freezing, maybe a little dust up or a coating on the grassy surfaces, but otherwise, I think we generally have smooth sailing as we move through the day tomorrow, just outside of some patchy damp pavement. So Tuesday is going to return back to seasonal averages. Wednesday is going to turn even cooler. So the early days of February is the complete changeover from what we had for the beginning of the year. But that cold really just surges in around an area of high pressure, which you would generally think forces a lot of activity out of our way. But Saturday, on top of the cold, we may have a few coastal flurries to contend with. Not any accumulation expected, but just kind of ocean enhancement to come along with the first half of the weekend. As I mentioned, great news in store though. Once we move into Sunday, things are wrapping up. Partly cloudy skies, and we should jump back into the low and mid 30s.
I'm Paula Ebben. This has been a WBZ News Update.